I can't believe we're exceeding expectations of last week and the week prior, but there's no days off from Canadian politics. Just things are rolling downhill. They're picking up momentum and it's getting international recognition. It's insane what's going on in Canada. So in today's video, we have a huge endorsement from Alex Jones. We have a special guest on Tucker Carlson, Justin Trudeau's half brother. We have more affordability testimonies, or lack of affordability testimonies in Canada, as well as a press conference update that Justin Trudeau did, and it's completely in shambles. Not to mention everything that happened yesterday with the NDP just literally imploding, and like they're leaving their jobs, and then there's also additionally a farmers protest happening that's going to be covered in a separate video. It's just insane. There's too much to keep up with. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I really want to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. And just so you're staying informed across all things Canadian news, I have multiple channels. They are all linked down below in the description, but the one I want to direct your attention to is Mr. Sunshine Extra. It's going to be linked at the top of the description as well as the pinned comment below. I'd highly recommend going to subscribe to that channel because that's where I'm taking shorter stories that I'm not covering on Mr. Sunshine Baby, and I'm putting it up on there so that we can do everything all the time. Hopefully, at least that is the goal. And without further ado, let's get into this video here. So we're going to start off with Alex Jones pretty much endorsing Pierre Poilievre. Been following this guy for years, and he is the real deal. Canada desperately needs a lot more leaders like him, and so does the rest of the world. Let's take a look at the video.
Justin Trudeau is not a liberal. It might surprise you to hear me say that. He's not a liberal. Liberals used to believe in liberty, and conservatives believed in conserving it. That was the common sense consensus we had in Canada. Justin Trudeau does not believe in liberty. He believes in government control. He wants to control your money. He wants to control your kids. He wants to control the economy, control your speech, control your bank account. He wants to control everything. That is illiberal. It's the opposite of liberalism. I don't want to run your life. I want to run your government. And a government that does a few things well rather than a lot of things poorly, a government that minds its own business and lets people live their lives. That is the traditional.
Man, this guy is appearing at the right time. I strongly believe that you can have the best idea, but if it's not brought up at the right time, then there's a chance that it's not gonna take off for the world, right? And Pierre Poilievre is here at the right time. He's saying all the right things when Canada needs it the most. We definitely need less government. But I'd like to know what you guys think down below in the comments about Alex Jones. Alex freaking Jones, the frogs are gay, endorsing Pierre Poilievre. That seems to be pretty huge. Next up, we have a press conference video here. Let's take a look at this.
The carbon tax, she says the carbon tax has increased stress and pain for millions of Canadians, and she's also calling for a meeting to discuss the carbon tax and its impacts. And it's not just Conservatives who are calling for this, Wab Canoe as well. Will you hold a meeting?
I find it interesting that Danielle Smith actually changed her mind on this one. A number of years ago, she was asked about the price on pollution and the Canada carbon rebate that comes with it. And she said she likes it because it puts more money in the pockets of her family. That it actually delivers more while fighting climate change. So it helps with affordability and it helps fight climate change. And she said that because that's exactly how we designed this program. We knew we had to fight climate change. We knew Canadians want us to fight climate change. We only have to look at the wildfires that hit last summer in Alberta. We only need to look at the droughts, the floods, the impact of a changing climate on all of us to know we need to do our part.
More people would care about the climate and the fires if we actually were able to afford day-to-day life. But that's not what people are worried about. That's actually the government's responsibility. People are worried about making it through the week or the day or the next month or even till the holidays or until they get paid. People are living paycheck to paycheck here in Canada. This guy doesn't get it. He's so delusional. He thinks that everyone is just making it up and that life is actually affordable. We're all just a bunch of crybabies, and we should just suck it up and pour more money into fighting climate change. It's ridiculous.
And there are great opportunities for businesses and innovators and Canadians that are a part of solving the challenges that a net zero world is going to require. But we have to take action. So we put a price on pollution everywhere across the country that is designed to put more money back in the pockets of hardworking Canadians. 8 out of 10 families across the country in jurisdictions where the federal carbon tax applies do better off. That's not just me who says it, it's a parliamentary budget officer has done the math on that as well. Here in Alberta, that's $1,800 for a family of 4 next year, or this year. Delivered in 4 payments, first which is going to arrive, the next which is going to arrive on April 15th. That's going to make a huge difference, both on affordability. And why do people like Danielle Smith and her husband do better because of it? Well, she said, because it puts more money in their pocket and they're able to reduce their emissions, or they're able to walk to work, or whatever it was that you can do that reduces your emissions, actually allows you to keep even more of that rebate that you're not spending on the price on pollution.
Government
I'm going to choose to believe Danielle Smith of a few
broadcasting.
years ago, before she started playing politics, when she said the price on pollution puts more money in the pockets of her and her family than it costs, because that's the reality for 8 out of 10 families across the country.
So him spewing this nonsense has pissed off so many people, including his own brother. And we're going to get to that, or his half-brother. We're going to get to that in a minute. This is why Canadians are so angry. Okay, you could be the biggest diehard Liberal supporter, NDP supporter. You could praise Justin Trudeau, but when it comes time to actually pay for things, which is how you live in this world, you have to pay for a roof over your head, you have to pay for bills, you have to pay for goods, you have to pay for services. You can't get away with not paying for anything in life. When it comes time to pay the bill, people are going to be looking at their wallets and their bank accounts, and they're going to say, "Oy, Liberals are not doing us any favors. Maybe we should reconsider this." And you're seeing this happen more and more and more. People are fed up. It's not putting more money in 8 out of 10 pockets. I've done an independent poll here where it's had over 20,000 votes, and it was actually quite the opposite. There was 8 out of 10 people have not received the carbon rebate. So people are just seeing through the lies, and they are fed up. And who's referring to Danielle Smith? Well, she has this to say on X. Prime Minister Trudeau, my colleagues and I are asking you to convene a meeting of Canada's first ministers to discuss the carbon tax and its impact on our economy and people. I urge you to show leadership and accept this important request. And she has an actual breakdown of her letter right there. She's just posted her letter right to X. It's insane. It's insane that you have this level of transparency from some people, but not from all politicians. And speaking of transparency, at least Canada Border Services is being transparent about this here. The Canadian Border Service Agency admitted that it lost track of 29,000 foreign fugitives who have crossed the border into Canada. 29,000 foreign fugitives are missing by our border services. Good job on admitting that big of a mistake, but also, what? How could you be so incompetent in the first place to let that happen? That's the state of Canada, folks. Nothing to be proud of here. And now we're getting into the good stuff here. So this is actually Justin Trudeau's younger brother, who is appearing on Tucker Carlson. Let's take a look at his video here.
Hey Tucker, I've been requested to make this video for you. Just here with my family in Florida. We're in Sarasota. You're trying to liberate Canada. I'm trying to liberate America. with Bobby, the Remedy Kennedy. Char, say hi. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyways, Tucker, I would love to chat with you. Much love, much respect. As you may or may not be aware, my brother is Justin, and he signed a contract that totally sucks. He signed up for the first half of it. The last half, I don't think he knew was going to happen, but he signed a contract. So when you're a company man, you got to play ball, right? Anyways, I hope you're doing absolutely amazing, and thank you for all that you do and all that you are, and I look forward to connecting. See you, buddy. Bye.
So this is insane because we're going to get an inside scoop on some actual secrets about Justin Trudeau's life. And in case you were thinking that this is maybe false, here it is right here. Tucker Carlson has actually already sat down with Justin Trudeau's half brother. This is happening. It's going to be released very shortly, so I want you to stay tuned. I want to make sure that you guys are subscribed with post notifications so you can actually be notified when this stream or when this podcast comes out, because it's going to break the internet, folks. Next up, we have Wall Street Silver here on X saying, we all know the price of everything is like super crazy. I just went to Walmart. I have a 5-month-old baby, $85. Let's see what they have to say.
So we all know the prices of everything are like super crazy. I live in Ontario. I just went to Walmart. I have a 5-month-old baby, so I need to get a couple things for her. Not even diapers, okay? Not even diapers. $85. Now let's see what I got, okay? Large Ziploc bags so I could put like her milk in them. Milk storage bags because like I freeze my extra breast milk. Diaper genie bags. 2 sets of these, and they have 2 in them. They're like the nipples for the bottles, so 4 in total, I guess. And wait, so this, and oh, they're in here. 2 chocolate bars. So we all know that
$85. I've said this in the past. When I go grocery shopping or when I go to the store, I don't get a push cart unless it's like a pre-planned Costco run or something along the sorts, because I can't fathom spending over $100 every single time I go to the store. So I carry my stuff. I carry my stuff in my hands, like all over Twist or something, or I take the little basket, but it's just so expensive. And let me know down in the comments if you're feeling the pinch as well, if it's very expensive for you, and if it is, what's kind of the most expensive thing that you've seen, like overpriced item. I can't get over the fact that my buddy paid $28 for 12 mandarin oranges, over $2 per mandarin orange. It's crazy what's happening here in Canada. All right, next up we have this is a bit of an older video, but it's Putin who's talking to Justin Trudeau. And while they're talking, Justin Trudeau puts his hand on Putin's chest, and you can see Putin's security guard comes by, and Putin waves him off. So why are we talking about Putin? Why are we talking about that whole situation, right? Why even mention that? Well, for those who don't know, I'm going to have a different video about this, maybe even on Mr. Sunshine Extra, which is linked down in the description under the pinned comment below. You should go watch that. But I'll talk about it very briefly here. Ukraine has been accepted into NATO. It's official. Ukraine is a part of NATO, which means that Canada now bears a responsibility for actually defending through arms and soldiers and real money. Yeah, no, everything that we've been doing so far, all that help, that's just been humanitarian. Now we actually have an obligation to really pick up the slack and defend our NATO allies. So keep that in mind, folks. And if you want to watch the video about that, I'm going to have that come out later today on Mr. Sunshine Extra. So link down in the description of the pinned comment below. Next up, we have Melissa Lantsman, who has a affordability press conference update. Here we go.
In a frantic slew of announcements over the last week, Justin Trudeau is doubling down on rebranded, recycled policies that simply are not getting houses built. We saw also from the CMHC, the Prime Minister's own housing authority, say that housing starts will be lower this year than they were last year. then they will be lower in 2026 than they were in 2021, and that affordability will be out of reach and that rents will continue to go up. We have a crisis in this country, and a bunch of recycled, rebranded announcements aren't going to fix the problem that Justin Trudeau created. Housing prices have doubled, and we see more of the same. Expensive photo ops from the Prime Minister, and a slew of announcements that are exactly the same that got us into this mess.
Yeah, and we couldn't beg for an election sooner than what is coming. And who knows? Maybe this interview with Tucker Carlson and Trudeau's half-brother that's about to be released very shortly, maybe that's going to have so much insider knowledge into Justin Trudeau's corruption and who he really is as a person that maybe he'll just resign, or maybe they'll just call an election. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the outcome. Right? All we know is that the end of 2025 is the next federally elected or federally scheduled election, and there's a lot of time between now and then for things to go sideways, for things to take a different turn. So we're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. And finally, we have this video here. Trudeau's asked if he's going to be held responsible for the massive spike in immigration. Let's see what he says.
Earlier this week, you spoke about the demand side of the housing, talking about how the number of non-permanent residents in the country needs to be under control. The population grew by 1.3 million last year. It's the fastest rate of growth in nearly 70 years. How do you explain to Canadians that it's not your government that's responsible for that lack of control at this point?
The federal government sets the permanent resident immigration levels every year, and we've had that steadily growing from 400,000 close to 500,000 now, because that's actually what we can take in, what we need to take in to keep our economy growing. That has been providing Canada's growth at a time of opportunity and low labor shortages. So we're going to continue to welcome in immigrants as Canada has always done over the years. People who build our communities, people who are part of the fabric of our communities and build a better future for themselves and their families. That's the permanent immigration numbers that we continue to stay strong with. The challenge is, over the past 2 or 3 years, we've seen spikes in asylum seekers, and particularly a massive spike in temporary workers and in international students. Now, in international students, that's largely a responsibility of the educational institutions and the provinces themselves that set those levels of international students. International students went from a few 100,000 a number of years ago to close to 1 million over these past years. That spike in international students hasn't just been putting pressure on the communities in which they rent and live around their universities. It also has degraded the quality of the experience we need them to get and learn when they come to Canada. So we've put in limits on international students so that we can ensure the system is able to support them, that universities are building more housing for them, and that young people themselves who come across the oceans to get the best quality of education in Canada get that best quality of education. The other thing that's happened since the pandemic, particularly, is a massive increase in temporary workers. Now, we know in certain agricultural sectors and fisheries, there's always going to be a need for temporary foreign workers where Canadians won't do those jobs. But in a lot of other areas, we need to make sure we're impressing on the need to pay good salaries to Canadians to be able to work in a lot of different ranges. So we're working with our Minister of Jobs and Minister of Immigration and provinces and territories to make sure that the significantly increased numbers of temporary immigrants in terms of temporary foreign workers is brought to reasonable levels. What does reasonable levels look like? Well, in 2017, temporary residents made up about 2% of Canada's population. Right now, they make up about 7.5% of Canada's population. That's where all the pressure on our house, or a big part of the pressure on our housing markets and on other areas are coming from. And that's why we are now working with the provinces who have a big role to play both on international students and on temporary workers, to bring that number down towards perhaps 5%, which will take...
This guy caused the problem. He's directly responsible. And the old immigration minister standing behind him, Sean Fraser, he personally lost 1 million people. Justin Trudeau and his government are responsible for this influx of people. And now he has the audacity to say, yeah, we might have too many people here, and we should probably do something about that. Buddy, you caused the problem. You don't get to sell the solution as vote for me and I'll fix it. You literally caused it. Justin Trudeau, he's so delusional. He doesn't understand that people can actually see through the lies. He thinks that whenever he gets in front of the microphone and he spews nonsense, that everyone's just going to sit there and go, oh yeah, we now have too many people. Great job, Justin. Vote for Justin. Like, that's just not how people are going to see it. And that's how they think people are going to see it. That's how the mainstream media is what they're under the impression. But it's just not true. But I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Are you falling for this? Or do you think that Trudeau is full of crap and he should stop huffing his own farts? Let me know down below. That's where we're going to end today's video, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. On your way out, I'd like to encourage you guys to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It really helps grow the channel. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.